education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of society, but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with a wholesome direction, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program The Afternoon Conversation. We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
It's yet another day, another time, another opportunity afforded us to sit before the camera and out of the microphone to discuss issues that matters to the growth and development of our beloved country, Mama Liberia. And today's edition of the Afternoon Conversation, specifically, we're going to be looking at ourselves. When I say ourselves, the Press Union of Liberia. You know, we control the airwaves. We give information as it relates to happiness within our country. But there's something that is happening or been happening in our midst for a couple of years now, and we need to right the wrong. And a few weeks ago, we saw some members gathering themselves at a particular location, and at the end of the day, one fraction of the folks said, come on, this is not legitimate. We need to seek redress from the court. And then we saw the Daniel Young Conan and that of the Julius Konuba going to court. Following that, we went on a halt as it relates to the press union activities. After a couple of months, a year plus now, there was an interim team put in place to see that the matters that held the press union at hostage come to an end. But notwithstanding, the interim team went through its process, and subsequently, a few weeks ago, we saw the elections team unity termed as a fraudulent and unauthorized election, while the folks from the Judah Konuba end said, look, this thing here is the way forward, and we are putting together a team to investigate and other stuff. Induction went on, and Team Unity took the matter to court. So as I learned, the matter was heard, hearing in the matter took place or began today. I will be joined by some members. If you are out there, you are a member of the Press Union of Liberia, whether you are from Team Konuba or you are from Team Unity, you can join us. And we've invited some legal minds. He served the Press Union of Liberia, and Musa Kenan will be joining us, and other professional colleagues will also be joining. Musa will say good afternoon to you. Musa will be joining us, and other professional colleagues. We all will be looking at this whole hula baloo within the Press Union of Liberia. But let me firstly start up here with an information that is in the public glare now, where Team Konuba have come out to organize a committee to checkmate past leadership of connections, financial standings, and you just name it. So let me just read for you what they have in the public glare here. It says PUL's fiscal governance and financial status to undergo evaluation as President Julius Konuba constitute 5-member committee. In compliance with the Constitution and good governance practices, the leadership of the Press Union of Liberia, the PUL, has constituted a 5-member committee mandated to undertake a full assessment of the current position of the PUL. The committee, officially known as the Technical Working Group on the Status of the PUL, is to evaluate the fiscal governance and financial standing of the PUL. In constituting the committee, PUL President Julius Konuba said the goal of the Technical Working Group is to identify contingents as assets and liabilities that his administration is inheriting from the most immediate past elected and unelected leadership. The work of the Technical Working Group on the status of the PUL is to conduct an audit, but rather is not to conduct an audit, it says, but rather an exercise intended to enhance our understanding of the current institutional framework in the context of fiscal governance, human resource capacity, the work environment, and financial status of our union, Konuba said. The assessment, the president noted, encompasses a meticulous review of financial, non-financial, and human assets, short and long-term liabilities, balances, net assets, and an evaluation of major revenue sources and expenditures, items as well as contracts, and the membership status of the PUL to professional journalism and integrity institution. In order to fully execute the assessment, the following respectable journalists, media and communication professionals have been appointed with immediate effect. Mr. James M. Pagwa, Chairman, Ms. Hannah Kanumeni, that's co-chair, Ms. Madeline F. Sa, Secretary, Mr. Gamonde Wimoga Bloje Joe, the second member, and Mr. Christopher Yawu, member. In appointing the 5-member committee, PUL President, it says, Julius Konuba applauds them for wholeheartedly agreeing to undertake the task in the interest of the PUL and as a sign of restoring our union, stressing that the committee must at all times exercise independence and integrity, blah, 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 blah. Let me run to what Team Unity came up with as it relates to their own rebuttal and counter claim on this matter. Team Unity wrote, and what Team Unity had to say here, quickly, let me get that for you. Evelyn Pade Siebert is also here with us. Evelyn will be joining us subsequently. We both will be talking about the matters today. What was held there at the court. Evelyn have actually joined us. Evelyn, we will be chat-chitting on the matter. So let me get Team Unity on side of this whole matter. Team Unity came in response to what was written by the Kanaba group, the people say they are legitimate. So anything they do, it is legitimized. So let's see what Team Unity had to say in a rebuttal. Let's go quickly before we bring in our guys to discuss this very important issue. So let's see. Musa Kenan, let me get it quickly. Let me get this thing quickly for you. Okay. This is a press release, and it says Team Unity condemns the illegal setting up of a technical working group by Julius Conoba. All right. Monrovia, Liberia, 7 October 2024. Team Unity strongly condemns the recent establishment of a so-called technical working group by Mr. Julius Conoba, who is imposing himself as president of the Press Union of Liberia, the PUL. We wish to reiterate that there is currently no recognized leadership within the Press Union of Liberia, and any action taken under Mr. Conoba's name are not constitutionally backed. The release went on to say the creation of this technical working group is nothing more than an attempt to further mislead and confuse the public. Mr. Conoba has no authority to constitute any committee nor to make any decision on behalf of the union. These moves are a blatant violation of the union's established governance protocols and undermine the integrity of our institution. We, Team Unity, firmly stand against this unlawful act and view it as an attempt to destabilize the union for personal gains. The Press Union of Liberia belongs to its members and must be governed by individuals duly elected through a legitimate democratic process, not by self-proclaimed leaders. We call on all members, all PUL members and stakeholders to disregard this false leadership and any activities or decisions emanating from Mr. Conoba's and his unauthorized group. The union must remain a beacon of transparency, accountability, and integrity, and such divisive actions only serve to undermine the foundation upon which the PUL was built. Team Unity remains committed to ensuring that the PUL is restored to its rightful leadership and governed in accordance with its constitution and the will of its members. Signed, Musa B. Kenan, Chairman. So Musa is here with us. Musa, good afternoon, my brother. And you are muted, Musa. Unmute yourself.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Rufus, and good afternoon to your name. I'm happy to be with you today. It's been a long time, bro.
Yeah. I'm in my little corner. Hey, Evelyn, how are you?
Hi, Divine. How are you?
I'm doing good. This is the issue. We are the beacon of information for the public. We hold the public trust as media practitioners, and within the media landscape of the country, we have a union that governs all practicing journalists. But here we are, over a year plus now, back and forth with legal matters. And a few days ago, we saw a leadership claiming, say they went to what we call election and said Julius Conoba was elected overwhelmingly and subsequently inducted into office. And we also witnessed prior to that, Team Unity, from whence you come, filed in a bill, or Musa, you know your legal term then. So can you care to tell us more about what is unfolding? And today you had a hearing You care to give us some detailed information? Let's start with the man that know the Northwest, Evelyn.
All right, thank you
No
so much.
problem.
Try to give you a background of the entire situation, just a summary of it, and then to where we are. We were in the leadership depression of Liberia national election, and everybody was given a fair play to do to come. People did their registration, everything was okay, and then Judah Kanuba team said they wanted the road to be clean, the photo road. We said to them, yes, you can come, you have your right. We called for the first meeting. We called the election commission. We called the Congress committee. The election commission said they interposed no objection to Judas Konoba and his team campaign because there is a possibility that somebody at some time may sway the system and get in. Every system, no system is perfect. It's possible there will be 2, 3, 4, 5 persons who are not qualified. Once the person is identified and then is investigated to be true, obviously they will be removed. When the committee said that, they came back, they said, oh, but then that is an acknowledgement that there are unqualified people on the list. So we said, okay, but then the leadership will take seats. Let's come, let's do it. The first day we set up, they didn't turn out. The second day, they didn't turn out. They offered apology and decided to do the tier one. The tier one was on a holiday. They didn't turn out. We wrote them, asking them to come out that it was important. So they held a press conference that they would not appear for any cleaning up. So the committee was mandated. The committee did a cleaning up, and we went to Banga for the election. While on a day before the election, they came with an injunction on the process. That injunction was also lifted because injunction is a preliminary rate, temporary rate that says stop a particular situation. But because it's a preliminary, it can be quashed just based on the bond. So we did file our bond. It was lifted, and the election went ahead. When the election went ahead, we had several petitions before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court declined to nullify the election, and then they went back to Bond County. While in Bond County, the judge just said, okay, but then stop the inauguration. Let's go into the merit of the case. We spent 2 years without discussing the merit of the case. We were on petition and counter petition before the Supreme Court. Within that time, we realized that the PEL was going down a drain, that the intent of those guys was to undermine the sanctity and credibility of the institution and to destroy the image of the PEL. And that journalists who are on the field were suffering a lot as a result of this act. In view of that, our candidate Daniel Yankona, we all had a discussion, and he decided to step aside for the sake of the union so we can go to new election. At the time, Peter Koko and others were negotiating. They were asking that we withdraw the case from court, we go to new, blah blah blah. While in that, Daniel decided to resign from the process so there could be new election. So when Daniel resigned, instead of Peter and Cody talking to the guys, now since Daniel has resigned, he's no longer in the process. Withdraw the case so we can go to fresh election. So it was plain. So now they filed for a motion for summary judgment. Motion for summary judgment is when you're in court and the other party has declined, they're not no longer coming to court. You can say, court, say they may not come to court, and say you're not getting interest in the case, please rule for me. Without going into the adversarial system, without going into all the let me do it, they may already say you're not coming again. So based on that, the court ruled in their favor on grounds that Daniel had resigned from the process. And the court acknowledged that if you see the ruling, the court said, I'm paraphrasing what the court said, summary judgment will lie. The court or Supreme Court ruling that states summary judgment will lie. And the court said because Daniel has withdrawn from the process, because he has made it public on radio, based on that, they will rule in favor of Judah and Tim. So the judge did. In the judge ruling, the judge said new and fresh election. At the same time, in the same paragraph, he said rerun. So you see, so the committee said they were confused. So Peter committee came out, the inter committee they was set up. They decided, okay, say the committee, the judge said 2 times new and fresh election, and 1 time new rerun, and we will go for new and fresh election. So they set up the day for the election, they set up the criteria, they told people to register. But one or two persons in the committee were objecting to it. They were fighting and asking for a rerun because their intent was for Gideon alone to contest because Daniel has already withdrawn from the process. Committee, and I'm going to call his name. Francis will I even walk out of the meeting because according to him, he was demanding a rerun and he couldn't say no. So they decided that they will ask the judge who handled the agreement, the decision, to interpret. And to do that is to write to the court. They didn't write to the court. According to them, they called the judge by telephone. And then the judge said he was out of the country. It's not the judge's responsibility any longer. You can write the court. So after some time, according to them, we were in a meeting. We were about to have a press conference to also launch a campaign for those who have declared the intention to register. So we're told by Peter that the judge called and asking them to stop. So I said, no, our judge does not do that. All my years in law school, every citation or every information from the court should be written. They call it express notation. Everything from court should be expressively written. That is why you go to court, nobody can say things verbally. Everything that the judge will say will be written by the clerk. So we said no. So on one day, we heard Peter say that the judge called them for meeting. So we say, I will raise a concern. This judge is no longer assigned in that court. He has been reassigned. The case is before that court. Why will you now come to say the judge called you for meeting? However, we want to also citation. Let's read up. They didn't bring anything to prove that they've gone anywhere. So they went for the meeting. They came back that the judge said it should be rerun. So we asked them for a copy of that judge ruling. There is absolutely no copy of that ruling. We can see it. In law, what is not written does not exist. Especially judge ruling, it does not exist. Which means there is absolutely no decision of such from the court. So according to them, that they were forcing the election based on that. So we said, no, you can't do it. So we objected to it. Why we objected to it? So they set up their land for new guideline for the new election. So we decided to file to the court. We went with a motion and read for a declaratory judgment before the court. That the court should, whatever they do, the court is unconstitutional, it's illegal. So the court called for a conference. On the day of the conference, Peter and your team went to court with a lawyer. Based on that, the judge said, say you're not here with us, then we'll go to full trial. Once at the conference, we'll go for full trial. All you will do is reply within the statutory time period of 10 days, and then we go into the case. When the judge said that, the next day straight, they just in the evening, they just put election. The next day, they rush with the election. They just hurry with the election. According to Peter and committee, there are 1,280 members of the Press Union of Liberia. And they were able to get 200 persons to go do a hurry-up election within a time. So that was the first case. So now, after that illegal process, they decided to have an induction. So that is why we filed a bill of information before the Supreme Court to stop the induction. But when the document went before the judge scheduled the case for. When the judge did, it means so they now schedule the induction before that time. So before the time for the hearing of the bill of information, their process are already over. That's what they did. Again, in violation of the court decision, in violation of the court summon, in violation of the court decision that they should reply and then we'll go into the case. So again, on the court said that it doesn't matter whether they run through with their things like the kangaroo thing. Once they acted illegally, the court have the right to revoke to quash and to cancel the entire process. So today we went to court on to hear the Bureau of Information, and we told the judge that that matter is moot already because they've already had the induction, and that we want to go to full trial. So as it is now, they filed their complaint asking the court to dismiss uh, our motion, and then we also filed a new motion for dismissal, and then we'll go to the case. It is our hope, and with the facts available, with the evidence available, that that decision, that fraudulent election, that act will be quashed, and then there will be a new and fresh election where every member of the Press Union of Liberia will have the opportunity to decide who governs the Press Union of Liberia. Not few individuals, less than 10% of the union will decide for everybody. That's impossible. That is why we're going to fight this legally to the end. That's just a summary.
Interesting.
That's just a summary of it.
Wow, very very much interesting. Evelyn, you listen to Musa. You from an independent background and following the proceedings and happenings within the Press Union of Liberia. What have you to say?
I have a lot to say. If you follow the President of Liberia election, I'm a full-fledged member. But when it comes to like totally getting involved into the deep elections processes, I haven't been part of that over the years. But what really, got me into this is the fact that we as journalists always calling on national government to do the right thing. Even when it comes to national elections, we the media we call ourselves the watchdog of society, right? We play a very pivotal role in making sure national politics, even having politicians doing the right thing, putting them to check that the Press Union of Liberia, such a noble institution, we have such a fraudulent process called election. For me, I don't call it election, I call it selection because we cannot say we have a membership of 2,000, 1,200 plus, then you have just 16%. 60% of such population participating in an election process. Not just that, you have a legal process that has been ongoing, clear instructions of what we should do, and then you have an interim team like maneuvering things quickly in favor of one group or the other party. It's not fair. That's why you see I've gotten involved into this process, not because a female was contesting as a presidential candidate. No, because we want a competitive process. The next thing, we have an election that is supposed to allow, right, everybody to contest. You will not believe that on the date of the quote unquote so called election, you have people who, when I call, are you at the police center? I said, which police center? They were like, no, I'm not aware there's election going on. Let's put Team Unity aside. Let's put Musa Kane aside. Let's put Mayor Zanko aside. Let's put Aloysius Mako aside. Let's put Daniel Yankun and the rest of the team. But you have brothers, big brothers, gurus in the media who were not even aware that election was going on that day, the 21st of September. So I call that process a selection process. The next take, you have a judge who was then assigned that had a ruling from the election that was held previously. He's no longer assigned at any calls an interim team who are very educated people, schools that are even teaching university mass communication department. We have a lawyer calling you to a living room or to a place that is not a courtroom to tell them that, the ruling I gave that time, my interpretation is, there should be election and the same old people who contested in the same election, I should be the same people. Whereas Daniel Yankuna for the forward movement of the PUI have back off. Say for the election, so they cannot be the one holding the union hostage. They cannot be the reason why for 2 years or whatever. So we back off so you can have a fresh election. Have new candidate that will be wanting to contest can be able to contest back up. And in fact, they were even fine and they pay that fine, then you still have them on a ballot paper, and you say you were listening to the interpretation of a lawyer who is not a sign. There is no court document whatsoever to prove that this is what he said. Why, if it was your own thing? So we are only behind this process to make sure that the right things are done. Whoever contests, or whether against Judah Kanaba wins, or if we don't win, the process is let's go to a clean election that you will have this over 1,000 plus media practitioners participating in a free, fair, and transparent election. There's never been in our history where the president will have an inauguration and you don't have international community attending. There's no recognition. It's disgraceful to just tell the magnitude of the problem.
But if you're out there as a journalist and you want to weigh in on the matter, basically, I've placed the link in all of the unions chat rooms, the independent journalist chat room, all of the chat rooms. As a journalist that was created for journalists, I placed this link in it so that you don't say, oh, that few handful of people to jet it to can't talk about anything yet. And if you are out there and want to have your say concerning the matter, you listen to Musa Kenan.
Really bad.
Yeah, the internet. You heard Musa Kenan, one of the members of the parties. You heard Musa Kenan explaining. He summarized the entire thing. If you have a different version of that, you can call in. The numbers will be posted here shortly. Call in and let's talk about this. This is so degrading. It's so disgraceful. And I'm chose to read our creed as journalists. We have our creed, and this is what it says. I believe in the profession of journalism. I believe that the public journal is a public trust, that all connected with it are, to the full measure of their responsibility, trustees for the public, that acceptance of a lesser service than the public service is betrayal of this trust. I believe that clear thinking and clear statement, accuracy and fairness are fundamental to good journalism. I believe that journalists should write only what he holds in his heart to be true. I believe that suppression of the news for any consideration other than the welfare of the society is indefensible. I believe that no one should write as a journalist what he would not say as a gentleman. That bribery by one's own pocketbook is as much to be avoided as bribery by the pocketbook of another. That individual responsibility may not be escaped by pleasing another's instructions or another's dividend. I'll stop this far. So if you're out there and wanting to wait in, 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are the numbers to call this afternoon. We are talking about the Press Union of Liberia issues that is unfolding. We've been in this thing for 2 years plus now, and we want to see this come to an end. One group of the coin say, look, we are legitimate. Our election is a free, fair, and transparent one. They were inducted into office. Others are saying, no. The court, you listen to what Musa had to say. So what have you to say? Let's hear your own side and let's come to a conclusion. If you are in the public and you are a follower of the Press Union of Liberia, you follow all of what is happening, you want to say, have your say, you can also call in. Journalists are also encouraged to join this conversation. It's about us. If we call ourselves watchdogs and we find ourselves doing what we are doing now, then what's the moral we have to question politicians, to question others that are in government and out of government, when we ourselves are going through or we cannot handle our own matters in a very professional form and manner? So 0887-105-105, 665-073 are the numbers to call. I don't know why. Musa, you can come back. Let's continue. So Evelyn, I mean, I must be blunt to say it's disgraceful. Yes, this is so degrading. Nowadays, you find out that the media have turned out to be a place, lot of unprofessional things being carried out in the media.
And we
So I
agree
don't
with that.
see. Go ahead, Musa.
This is degrading. This is frustrating. This is unacceptable because we are pace setter of society. We are people who should be patient the right thing to do. We are people who advocate for good governance and democracy across the world and in Liberia. We are people who should stand for justice, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. But it's sad, it's unfortunate, it's very much dangerous to see the press union trying to butcher democracy, trying to butcher the participation of our own members. That is why people like us have decided to stand tall to fight this. We are not fighting because we want to be selfish. We are not fighting because we want leadership. We are fighting because we want to ensure that whosoever does it with the approbation of the membership, with the acquiescence of the membership, with the support of the membership of the PEL. How do you fathom that a leader of a particular union with over 1,000 plus was elected by just 175 group of people? Rare in town. What happened to our colleagues across Liberia? What happened to them? What happened to democracy? It's sad, but I want to say something to you. This is not just a fight because people want leadership. This is a fight to protect those who squander and misuse the 100,000 in the past. Because we said to them that if Daniel wins, there will be a national inquest to investigate exactly what happened. They are afraid. They start to find a stooge who will fight on their behalf. And that's where they brought Julius. So Julius is a brother. We are not for anybody can win a PEL. All we wanted is open up the process and allow everybody to participate. Rufus Cannon is a journalist. Rufus Cannon is qualified to contest. If Rufus wants to contest, allow Rufus to register to contest. If he doesn't win, fine. If he wins, fine. But you cannot stop Rufus from contesting when Rufus has the right to contest. The interim management committee, they abrogated unto themselves laws and powers that the constitution didn't give them. They do not have the power to do what they did. That is why we are challenging it. And we call on everywhere many Democrats, people who believe in the rule of law, people who believe in a democratic tenets, to support this process to ensure democracy prevail at the President of Liberia.
So let's go to the live feed and see some of the comments coming up from Clara Kuju Malak writes, I had no idea there was an election. Wow. She writes again, there wasn't election. It was nothing but a fraud. Eddie Hammond writes, watching from the unknown. Eddie, where you go unknown? Clara again, the PUL has no leadership. Everything is illegal. Clara writes again, good job. Thank you so much. If you are out there and want to weigh in, you listen to Musa, and there are a lot of things that you know about the Press Union of Liberia, and you are a follower of the Press Union, you are a journalist, the lines are open. Let us talk about this thing, how we can amicably settle this matter. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Interestingly, Musa, during the elections that was held in Bond County, Tim Conover said that election was fraudulent and it had no merit of legality. So they took the folks who were elected, the likes of Daniel Yankona and others, they took the matter, Julius and his team took the matter to court. Now, with what you've just explained to us, they themselves, after they have gone through what they went through, they declared an election. And according to you, and the facts available, you have 1,000+ members of the Press Union of Liberia that cut across the entire.
1,280.
Oh, okay. That cut across the entire landscape
15
as it
counties.
looks. Yes. So, with that being said, you have only 200 individuals, 200+ individuals coming to an election. We have Eddie on the line. Eddie is calling me through my personal line. So let me hear Eddie. Eddie, the man who is from the unknown, how are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm okay, Eddie. You were part of the committee that saw Daniel Yankona elections. And subsequently, that election was marked, according to folks from the Julius Cornerback camp, as a fraudulent election. Now, we have another situation. What have you to say concerning what is unfolding at the Press Union of Liberia?
Well, the union, it's so disappointing that we will find ourselves in such a situation. And what we were doing at the time, members of the membership committee, we were trying to do the best we can, because in every given situation, you can't do electoral process. Nobody for everybody. More of when you talk about PUA, Yeah, I know Rufus, I know Musa, I know few people. But the PUA yesterday was there for Memorial Day. The PUA yesterday, but the PUA now is not just Memorial Day, but the 15 counties. So you not even center, you don't even center the PUA just for most rather. It's go beyond that. When we go through for the issue they had that we added people on the voter roll or on the promotion listing that were not full member or were not qualified to be full member of have the right to vote. So the election committee members and the election committee member and then the current committee member, that will call us. The two parties, I don't know what I was there. The two parties from camp and camp and Ghana Nakona camp, and we met in the president office, then Charles Coffee. And we went through we told them, we said, look, they have two issues. Then they have, because after the election, before you know that during the time of PA election, the very day of PA election, that the very day people will be registered in the one point, we will receive. So when we took the position, we decided to create a gap, and the way will be there 1 month and a half between the time of election. So by that time, everybody know that they'll be voting for a particular candidate at that particular time. And now there's the election today, you're going to register. So we'll close we're getting closer to the deadline of the registration process. The president then made a policy statement in Nima County, because he said, since we're in Nima and the deadline was closing for that period, and while we're in Nima, we just get additional week, and for those who are in Morocco who are still waiting to register. So if the additional week, when you get the week, we'll have 13 person register after that. Then we'll have another group that is accused of from the local country, what they call the Kwabo registration. So when that meeting there that evening, and then Daniel team said, okay, the group just said I register for the group, I made that list, I was some senior brothers now list. So they said, but then Daniel team said, look, we don't know them, we don't know what they're going to vote for, but the local team said, we should cancel it, let's cancel it. And then current Maya said, okay, since we're all here, the two parties are here. If we all of us, can we call our wives and call our husband, call our girlfriend, that we all speak here tonight to get to the voter roll once and for all. And all of a sudden, Karama left the office, they went out, and when they had a personal pen, since that time, they have never gone to any call meeting to clean the voter roll. Going forward, we put a voter roll on the bulletin, and we say in the red chat room, no, if you know that report is not qualified to be on the list, come and identify report because we don't do reports, and to say report is not qualified. When you identify reports, we go further, we take report on the list. And how we've been doing it. Can you imagine? People went a public affairs, foreign relation officer. They came to say they want to be full member, I mean they want to be registered as full member. We said no, because you're not journalist. Because you're not saying for library journalist. Yeah, what our senior brother did. The condition gave every full member the right to lifetime membership. Because they say when you that three categories, associate, affiliate, and full member. So once you apply for 5 years, automatically you are full member. You get degree in mass code, you are member, full member. When you get degree in other discipline, and apply for 2 years, you are member. So it's possible that you be going to school and the first thing and I say you get degree in public administration, definitely you are full member. But you went apart, second people knew we said the serving a PRO and so because you does not give you the right to do what you did. Because the professor is in a way that you can go forward and come back and still practice. Okay? But I mean, what is that we did wrong? They worse than what we did. Because the membership list we provided was just send a copy of the membership list, put that same list on the board. And then the board can identify who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. But even the associate membership list that we even prepared, they added additional names because those people who were part of the associate membership list, they were all registered members and they paid to get for the need to appear there. Even those who were full members, who were part of the full membership listing, they also paid to register rather started. And not just go there, my name should get there. We're not let that happen. But they new election date and they're opening it and they're for everybody. Even before we took from the full membership listing, the people who were generator man at registration, who was security, who was driver, who was engineer, we took them from the list and put in different categories because the constitution says only for that brand journalist. Once you are not journalist, you don't have the right to be full member. Okay? And we did all that. They put some of them back. They don't know some of them. They took a put name from perception or I don't know report Kenneth. I mean report Kenneth, so I will do report from the list. They did worse things. Simple things they should have done. Simple things. Even when the lawyer says, look, it's a rerun or a fresh election. Call meeting, mass meeting, gentlemen, they don't have backup. Can we create a call that let other parties come in so that it will be competitive? So they have one time shot. They didn't do it. Just simple. Which they should have used to have the thing solved once more, or they didn't do it. For me, that's disappointing, you know. And sometimes when you do your best and people think I'm not doing anything on the counter, they make it worse. And it just worse. If there's anything I think we're going to start all over, and those who will be there, they will be able to know what we went through because we put between myself, we went to 5 different countries trying to register people. It was a difficult job, but we know we're not perfect because we don't know everybody. And the major thing happening is dishonesty. People are not honest. You went to a radio station, you know the man not for 5 years. The man used as a reference. You keep definitely think so, oh yeah, the man for 5 years. How will you be dishonest like that? Because you want to vote or you want to vote for your friend. How will you be dishonest? So you expect me to get to know everybody at the same time? It's not possible. It's not possible. So I think that we all fall short. I mean the senior brothers who think that they knew everything, they could do everything better, they all fall short. I mean everybody just take the blame and just start all over. No, I mean let's just go ahead and have a competitive election. Who all win because the PA is just the umbrella for everybody. And we can't get one side having one election, one party, one candidate into the election. It's not possible. Why haven't the national government do it? And what will you say as a journalist? You know? So I just hope that when the court decided to say that the president is good, we should go with the president, we'll go with the president. When the court says no, we'll stay. Whatever for me, I don't want the rest to be done. And then I said no, it's some of them malice. Some of the person who know that the person was not competitive, they know that. They know that some of the things our big brother did, they were wrong, they missed their step. They slipped up big time, and I hope that someone will realize that they'll have a back step to say that we should have done this. We're not supposed to do so. We can get 1,000 plus. 200 person voting, you think that it's proper? I mean, your conscience should tell you that this is what it was not right. We all get conscious, but your issue there that dishonesty gets creating the whole thing. That's all. Now, I just hope that we just the code will just since the code will hit the code. When the code says, look, Judah Kalama ran to win the election that he carried in, we'll come back. We will come back. But he said, no, that's not over. We'll go start off over. But this person will stay back and watch the game.
Okay, man. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Eddie. He's Eddie Hammond, a Liberian journalist, also speaking to the issues that is actually unfolding within the President of Liberia. He also provided us information. He served on the committee back then in the previous elections where they were verifying names and getting all those who are members to form part of the voter roll. They did a cleaning up exercise, and we saw that election, Daniel Yankona emerging as the winner. But the team from the economists and said, hey, no, that election was marked with fraud. So they took the matter to the court. Now the court, a year plus, few weeks ago, we saw with the number of journalists in the country, only 200 plus went to an election. So let us talk about this. Let us talk about ourselves. This is one thing that I've come early to realize, that in Liberia, we don't face our own issues, but we love to melt in other people's issues. Yeah, we can run with people information. Our own setting, we're scared to talk about it. Let's face the issue. Come on. Journalists, you're listening, you're following. Come on, let's talk the matter. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Just the other day, in one of our, I was talking. I'm like, why aren't we talking our own matters? We are at this crucial state, and if you tune to all the radio stations in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, everybody talking national politics. Whereas we have a deep crisis within the press union that we should be talking on every talk show, mentioning this matter all the time. But at least a few days ago, we start seeing, a number of media institutions calling either Team Unity or Team Kanaba, to talk. But they've been really um, you know, quiet to some extent from the media perspective, the way in which I expect us to talk our own matter, the way we take national issues, it has not been like that. But at least now we beginning to see some signs.
Are you getting me? I said Eddie had the time to talk about those issues that happened in the previous election and up to present. And he made mention of several things, the cleaning of the voter roll onto the election day, and that just ended, quote unquote. I know how your Musa, Musa go. It's a
Call that one selection.
selection. So he spoke lengthily about those things. What have you to say concerning that, Musa? Is there any additional information that you want to provide? Musa, unmute yourself.
All I want to say is that anybody doing business with Judah Kanumba and his team are doing it at their own risk. He does not represent the Press Union of Liberia. He is not the president of the Press Union of Liberia. He does not have the authority or to lead the Press Union of Liberia. He does not represent the views and aspirations of members of the Press Union of Liberia. We think he's an impostor who has been imposed on us by Peter Kuku and his team. We believe that anybody who should lead the Press Union of Liberia should have the approbation of the members of the Press Union of Liberia, should be the representation of members of the Press Union of Liberia, should reflect the opinion, the view, the voice of majority members of the Press Union of Liberia. With that, we will allow whosoever to lead the Press Union of Liberia, but somebody who will be handpicked and imposed on us will be resisted through the law, and that is we are in court. Our lawyers are doing the work, and we're hoping that at the end of the day, we will prevail. We will prevail, and then there'll be a fresh and new election, and then whosoever emerges as leader will lead the Press Union of Liberia.
Musa, I'd love to ask the question: on what grounds you are declaring Julius illegal? The man have been elected
on the grounds, number one, he was not elected in
elected
the constitution. Number two, members of the Press Union of Liberia were not allowed to exercise their duties. Number three, the court ruling that it depend on the election talk about fresh election for people to contest. Number four, the document they rely on for rerun does not exist because operating in was illegal. From the beginning to the action was illegal. That is why we think it was done. It was void arbitral. Void arbitral, meaning void from the beginning. Everything is wrong. Everything was wrong. And we think proceeding further, working further with Julius and his team will undermine the sanctity of the PUR. And this is all intended to throw our union into further confusion. And we're not going to stand by the way. Julius is illegal. He's not the president of the Press Union of Liberia, and nobody should do any business with him.
Evelyn is shortly leaving us. Evelyn, let's get a parting comment, then you can leave us. Evelyn?
Yes, Tiffany. I want to thank you so much for the time. The Press Union is nobody's personal property. The process that was expected after the two candidates from the previous election wanted to forward march with the union, but that did not happen. Having them on the ballot, we think that was very undemocratic. It's just a sign that top national politics and especially to those who have been heading the interim team. We believe in the rule of law. We believe that the father way is not the way. That's why you see even during the inauguration, there were tourists coming from the camp. We will see them. We will see. Anybody coming to start the inauguration? Okay, we already have the legal during our process. We have this in court. Let's engage the international community, all the donor partners. We engage all of them. That if any business with these parents selected by the union, we will donate to listen to us. So it's nothing to compromise. The only thing is only the court can decide. If we should go on to the Supreme Court, perfect. If the court rules and say, well, we don't have a case, if the court will go to election, whoever wins, whether mayor, example, gets on the ticket, elections, because that's what they did not want. They did not want that competition. So they just selected Julius and whoever and put them. How can you have an election? Okay, the president has a structure. You have a president, vice president, a secretary, and an assistant secretary. The two felt that this process was not so they did not participate even in inauguration. How do you win an election like that? Without the president, secretary, and assistant signatures. Just ask ourselves that question. Let's ask ourselves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, Evelyn. She's one of our own, very, very productive, innovative. Evelyn making her say on the matter that has to do with the Press Union of Liberia. It is interesting as a journalist. We speak to these issues because every day, every minute, every hour, we sit on our various platforms. We talk about issues on the national scene, but we forget to talk about ourselves. Now that the platform is created for us to talk about ourselves, we shied away. Yeah, it was an open invitation given. Since this morning, I've been reaching out. An open invitation. Team Konuba or Team Unity, y'all come. Let's talk about this thing. And those who saw the need, they have given their side of what is unfolding. I think it is very, very prudent that we go to the drawing board and get the right things, if we may, done, so that the press union can regain that integrity. The press union can regain that unity and the forcefulness. When you take a look right now, visit what is happening within the media landscape. It is so appalling that journalists are proudly sitting on radio, people who claim to be journalists, proudly sitting on radio and using invectives. They proudly sit on the very platforms and use the F word. They don't care. Unethical things are happening. Who's there to checkmate them? The union that covers all journalists is at loggerhead. Tell the mind, the bar, the in confusion. Who will guard the children? That's what happening to the Liberian media right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, professional colleagues, let us change our course of action. Let us do the things that are right. We cannot be criticizing people, and at the end of the day, we're doing even more than what we are criticizing. It pains us. Some of us who take up our time to acquire knowledge, and more to that, see the profession and take it as our own and try to practice professionalism. We are branded as journalists because of the few that are characterizing the entire institution, the profession, the noble profession in the form and manner is being seen. It pains us, it hurts that you put in your all, and at the end of the day, it's so sad, folks. The Press Union of Liberia, there's a serious need that we as journalists come to the point to understand that we hold the public trust. You heard, I read for you the creed of our noble profession as journalists. Where are we? Come on. There are lots of things happening. We need to put under control. Let's get this commercial commitment. The lines are still open. 0778 665 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call this afternoon and form part of the program, The Afternoon Conversation, right here on Love FM 105.1. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I'm pretty seated. I had earlier on here, Evelyn Parasibe. She was here giving her own independent analysis on the matter unfolding at the Press Union of Liberia. We also had here Musa Kenan giving his own side of what is unfolding from Team Unity angle. So let's get this commercial commitment to be read back while we are with your calls on 0778 665 073 0887 105 105.
I had to escape. My people, see my joy. Since I put in for a car to this other car rental series, they are yet to come, and I am getting late. I don't know what to do.
Don't worry, my sister. Have you heard about U-Car Rental Service?
No.
U-Car Rental Service is the best in town, and they are located on 10th Street in Cinco, right in the technology building. Very affordable with a very low price. Go there now or call them on 0888 111 222.
Thank you, my brother. I'm calling them right now. Hello, is this U-Car rental service?
Yes, ma'am. How can we help you?
I need a car to take me to work.
Okay, where are you?
I'm on Broad Street.
Okay, we're coming right now.
Thank you.
You need a ride? Don't worry. Your car rental service is the best in town with affordable price just for you. Your car rental service can be contacted on 0888 111 222 or visit their office right on 10th Street in Cinco, the land side in the Technology Building. Your car rental service, the best deal in town.
My pikin shege, bambada so boy can near tobogi, especially beans tobogi.
My leg, you know, this real girl from drive me from Maryland. I don't talk about the so many chorus.
Yeah, I tell you, grow people. I get something that will beat you.
No, talk again. Let me give you one more from Maryland.
You know what is greater than 3 days score?
What it? Nothing will be my 3 days.
5 days score. Lusta Star MTN says for $1 only, you get 100 minutes to call all network valid for 5 days. Meaning you get 100 minutes you can use within 5 days and talk to any network. Just star 143 hash to activate.
But look at myself, just try to get on one time. The people smart, they have new money.
Best news ever! Get 100 minutes to call all networks, valid for 5 whole days. Simply dial star 143 hash to activate and talk for as long as you want.
MTN. Yellow star.
To the pool! To the pool!
What did you say you yelling for?
Come here, man. All day you making noise in people ear say you singing. No air, no air. Like walk and breathe.
Don't leave on there and cough me, oh.
They say MTN Yellow Star is back and this season over is easy for everybody. You can audition online from now to the 13th and then live audition will start on the 14th. And the people going to be Ghana, Nima, and the biggest one will be held in Monserrato.
That thing you talking, what thing is that if I win?
La real if I win. The winner will take home a $2 million LIBERIA record deal with young feature entertainment, a brand new car, and a $300,000 LIBERIA wardrobe budget. Not all, plus 1 year of performance with MTN and video production deal and 100 gigabytes of data every month. But not all, 7-player winning, 600,000 LIBERIA record deal, a year of performances with MTN, 100 gigabytes of data every month, and new this year for 3rd place of 400,000 LIBERIA cash prize and 100 gigabytes every month. Hey man, don't forget to tell your fellow people to dial star 415 star your code hash to vote for you when you make it. I'll be live every Saturday for the live evasion show starting from October 12. You can see your singing more.
Yellow star. MTN.
After our commercial commitment, we are back. The line still remains open to 0887 105 1050 778 665 The lines still remain open to the public. If you are a journalist or non-journalist, you've been following the activities at the Press Union of Liberia and want to speak to it, 0887 105 1050 778 665 The numbers to call. Let's talk about this. It's about the integrity of the union. It's about the profession, yes. Come on, the union is at loggerhead. One faction is saying they are legal. The other faction is saying you are illegal. There should be one press union of Liberia. There should be one press union of Liberia. And how do we go about that? Through a democratic process. That each and every one of its members will form part of the process. And not just a selective few. All right? This is a profession that we gave our all to. I don't want to see our efforts go down the drain because of people's personal aggrandizement. So it pains us when we see the wrong things happening within the media. At least to say the body that governs us is not at peace for several years now. Oh, yeah. 077-866-5073, 087-105-105. These are the numbers to call and form part of the program this afternoon. It's right here on Love FM 105.1. So while we await your calls, let's get to hear a few words, encouraging. I always love to motivate you now. Yeah. We need to get these kinds of motivation coming our way so we understand what it takes to be who we are and the importance that comes with our posture in society. Yeah. People respect you by the way you carry yourself. You see, if you are addressed by the way you dress, right? If you do not dress properly, what's gonna happen? You'll be addressed in the form and manner you are dressed. So this is something that we need to take cue from. All right, let's get a few lines from Miles Monroe on never react if anyone hurts you. That's the title of this one. Let's get a few bars of it, and then while we await your calls, then subsequently we wind down the curtains on today's edition.
But inevitably, in the midst of this intricate web, you will encounter moments of pain, betrayal, and hurt. It is in these moments that your true character is tested, not by how you act, but by how you choose to not react. When someone hurts you, the natural instinct is to strike back, to defend your pride, to prove your worth. But I tell you, the greatest strength you can demonstrate is restraint. It is in the silence of your response that true power is found. Why? Because when you master your emotions, you master your destiny. You see, reacting out of pain often leads to decisions made in haste, words spoken in anger, and actions that you may regret. But when you take a step back and seek to understand the situation, you give yourself the gift of clarity. You begin to see the situation not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity for growth. Responding with grace, even when you've been wronged, elevates you above the situation. It shows that your values are not swayed by the actions of others. Remember, you are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond to what happens. Focus on the bigger picture. Every reaction, every word spoken in anger has the potential to derail your purpose and your peace. Is that fleeting satisfaction of retaliation worth sacrificing your peace of mind? Is it worth losing sight of your goals? I assure you it is not. Understand that your identity is secure. You do not need to prove who you are by reacting to every offense. Those who know their worth, those who understand their value, can walk in silence, knowing that their identity is unshaken by the words or actions of others. There is power in silence. Silence does not mean defeat. Silence means wisdom. It speaks volumes about your strength, control, and discernment. It is a declaration that your peace is too valuable to be disturbed by trivial matters. Guard your heart. Protect that inner sanctuary where your peace resides. Do not allow the actions of others to infiltrate and disrupt the harmony within you. Instead, let forgiveness be your shield. Forgiveness does not excuse the behavior, but it frees you from the emotional chains of bitterness and resentment. And finally, remember this: let God fight your battles. Vindication, justice, and recompense do not come from your hands, but from a higher power. Trust that your silence is not in vain. It is a demonstration of your faith that the battle is not yours to fight. So when hurt comes your way, and it will choose not to react, choose to rise above, to maintain your dignity, and to keep your focus on the path ahead. In your silence, you will find strength, peace, and ultimately victory. When someone wrongs you, the immediate urge is to react, to assert your position, to defend yourself. This urge is natural, but it is not always beneficial. The true measure of strength lies in the ability to exercise restraint, to hold back when everything within you screams to retaliate. Restraint is not a sign of weakness, rather, it is the hallmark of true power. To restrain yourself in the face of provocation requires a deep understanding of who you are and what you stand for. It's a recognition that your identity and self-worth are not dictated by external circumstances or the actions of others. When you choose restraint, you are choosing to rise above the situation, refusing to let the actions of others pull you down to a level that is beneath your purpose. Restraint allows you to maintain control over your emotions rather than allowing your emotions to control you. It is easy to lash out in anger, but it takes true strength to pause, reflect, and decide not to react. This moment of pause is where your power lies. It is in this space that you regain control, where you determine the outcome rather than letting the situation dictate it. By choosing not to react, you are preserving your energy for what truly matters. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every offense deserves your attention. Restraint helps you to conserve your resources, to focus on the bigger picture, and to channel your energy towards your goals and higher purposes. It's a declaration that you are not easily swayed or thrown off course by the actions of others. Moreover, restraint sends a powerful message to those around you. It demonstrates that you are a person of wisdom and maturity, someone who understands the value of self-control. It shows that you are not driven by impulsive emotions, but guided by a deeper sense of purpose and integrity. In a world that often glorifies immediate responses and quick reactions, restraint sets you apart as someone who operates on a higher plane. Restraint also opens the door to better outcomes. When you refrain from reacting in the heat of the moment, you allow space for clarity to emerge. This clarity can lead to more thoughtful responses, ones that are aligned with your values and long-term goals. It also gives others the opportunity to reflect on their actions, potentially leading to reconciliation or understanding that would have been impossible in the midst of a heated exchange. In essence, restraint is not about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about recognizing that true power lies not in how loudly you can speak or how quickly you can react, but in how wisely you can choose to respond or not respond at all. It is this power in restraint that ultimately leads to peace, wisdom, and a life lived with purpose. Emotions are a fundamental part of who we are as human beings. They give color to our experiences, shape our relationships, and drive us to take action. However, when left unchecked, emotions can also become a force of destruction, leading us to make decisions that we later regret. The key to living a life of purpose and integrity lies in mastering your emotions, harnessing their power without being controlled by them. Mastering your emotions begins with understanding them. It's not about denying how you feel or pretending that certain emotions don't exist. Instead, it's about acknowledging your emotions, recognizing their source, and understanding why they arise in certain situations. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional mastery. When you understand why you feel a certain way, you can better manage how those feelings influence your thoughts and actions. Once you've gained this understanding, the next step is to develop the ability to pause. In the heat of the moment, when emotions are running high, it's easy to react impulsively. But mastering your emotions means creating a space between the emotion and your response. This space allows you to choose your actions consciously rather than being driven by the intensity of the moment. It's in this pause that you can evaluate the situation, consider the consequences of your actions, and decide on the most constructive way to proceed. Emotional mastery also involves learning to redirect your emotions in a positive way. Anger, for example, can be a powerful motivator for change when channeled correctly. Instead of letting anger lead to destructive actions, you can use it to fuel your determination, to inspire you to address injustices, or to push you toward achieving your goals. Similarly, sadness can be a source of deep reflection, leading to personal growth and a greater understanding of life's complexities. By mastering your emotions, you transform them from potential liabilities into valuable assets. Another critical aspect of mastering your emotions is not allowing them to dictate your identity. Emotions are temporary states. They come and go like waves in the ocean. But your identity, your values, and your purpose are far more enduring. When you allow emotions to control you, you risk making decisions that are inconsistent with who you truly are. But when you master your emotions, you maintain alignment with your core beliefs, ensuring that your actions reflect your true self, even in challenging situations. Mastering your emotions also means not being swayed by external circumstances. Life will inevitably present challenges and people may hurt or disappoint you. But by mastering your emotions, you remain centered, able to navigate these situations with grace and composure. You learn to respond to life from a place of inner strength rather than reacting to the external world's fluctuations. This inner strength allows you to remain focused on your goals and true to your values, regardless of what is happening around you. In relationships, mastering your emotions is vital for maintaining harmony and understanding. When you control your emotions, you communicate more effectively, listen more deeply, and respond more thoughtfully. You become a source of stability for those around you, someone who can be relied upon to remain calm and level-headed even in difficult situations. This emotional maturity fosters trust and respect, deepening your connections with others. Ultimately, mastering your emotions is about living with intention. It's about taking ownership of your emotional life and using it to enhance your journey rather than derail it. It's a commitment to personal growth, to becoming the best version of yourself, and to living a life that is guided by purpose, wisdom, and strength. By mastering your emotions, you not only gain control over your inner world, but you also influence the outer world in a way that is positive, impactful, and aligned with your highest ideals. When someone hurts you, the instinct to retaliate can be strong, driven by a desire to protect yourself, to assert your dignity, or to make the other person feel the pain they've inflicted on you. However, retaliation often perpetuates a cycle of conflict, leading to further harm and misunderstanding. True wisdom lies in seeking understanding rather than giving in to the urge for revenge.
We get more of this. This is how we love to wind down the curtains on today's edition of the program, The Afternoon Conversation. It was wonderful having Evelyn and Musa here talking about what is unfolding in the PUL. It's always good that we talk about those things that matters. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I'll talk to you, God willing, on Thursday when I'll be around here again. Tomorrow, Martina Tuba and Fanfomba will take you through on the positive show and that of the Afternoon Conversation. Let's keep the peace and play safe. Bye-bye on the program.
Know of no safe depository of the ultimate power